Welcome back, my friend, to Irish Fantasy Sleep Stories. My name is Brendan, and I hope to guide you to a deep and restful sleep. If you would like to support my channel, please do click the like and subscribe buttons below. In tonight's Celtic cat adventure, shrouded in the mists of history, an ancient city lies divided, its rival chieftains locked in a bitter feud that threatens to tear it apart. But Finn the druid and his feline companion arrive to investigate, in the hopes of bringing the two chieftains together. In the misty hills of ancient Celtic Ireland, where the whispers of old magic still lingered in the air, there stood a quaint cottage on the edge of an ancient forest. This was the home of Finn, a gentle-hearted druid, and his feline companion Whisper, a ginger cat with eyes as green as the deepest emeralds. The cottage was a haven of warmth and tranquility. Its thatched roof, sturdy stone walls and round windows gave a welcome appearance that seemed to blend seamlessly with the surrounding nature. Vibrant wildflowers and fragrant herbs grew in abundance around the dwelling, their sweet scents carried on the soft breeze that rustled through the nearby trees. Inside, the cottage was filled with the comforting aroma of dry herbs and smoky peat. Bundles of sage, thyme, and lavender hung from the rafters, while shelves lined with clay pots, crystals, and ancient tomes spoke of Finn's deep connection to the natural world and his druidic practices. The crackling fire in the hearth cast a warm golden glow across the room, its light dancing on the worn wooden furniture and colourful woven rugs. Finn, with his kind eyes and auburn hair, moved about the cottage with a quiet grace. His hands, calloused from years of working with plants and stones, were gentle as he tended to his magical pursuits. He possessed the ability to communicate with the spirits of nature, to heal with herbs, and to glimpse fragments of the future in the ripples of still water. Curled up on the cushioned windowsill, Whisper observed his human companion with an air of feline contentment. Though he appeared to be an ordinary cat, Whisper held an extraordinary gift: the ability to understand and communicate with all the creatures of the forest, from the tiniest mouse to the wisest old oak. Whisper served as a bridge between the human and natural worlds. Together, Finn and Whisper lived in harmony with the ebb and flow of the seasons, their days filled with the quiet magic of Celtic tradition and the timeless rhythms of the Irish countryside. As the first light of dawn filtered through the cottage windows, Finn and Whisper began their preparations for the journey ahead. The air was thick with anticipation and the earthy scent of morning dew. Finn moved about the cottage with purpose, his footsteps soft on the worn wooden floor. He carefully selected an assortment of dried herbs from the bundles hanging from the rafters. Chamomile for calm, rosemary for clarity, and juniper for protection. Each herb was lovingly wrapped in squares of soft linen and tucked into a sturdy leather satchel. Next, Finn turned his attention to his collection of magical items. He chose a soft river stone, etched with an ancient rune, a small vial of sacred spring water, and an intricately carved wooden amulet. These treasures were nestled safely alongside the herbs, each item humming with its own quiet energy. Meanwhile, Whisper had slipped outside, padding silently into the misty forest. The cat moved from tree to tree, his emerald eyes glowing in the dim light. He paused to listen to the whispers of the wind through the leaves, the chatter of the squirrels, and the soft hooting of a sleeping owl. Through these forest voices, Whisper gathered invaluable information about the city they were to visit. He learned of new stone walls being built, of the tension that hung in the air like a storm about to break, and of the best places to find a quiet moment amidst the bustle. As the mist began to lift, revealing glimpses of a pale blue sky, Whisper returned to the cottage. He found Finn adjusting his cloak and securing his satchel. With a soft meow, Whisper communicated his readiness. Finn smiled warmly at his feline friend. "Well then, shall we be off?" he asked, his voice gentle and tinged with excitement. Together they stepped out into the misty morning. The forest path stretched before them, dappled with the first golden rays of sunlight breaking through the canopy. With hearts full of adventure and the magic of the natural world surrounding them, Finn and Whisper set out on their journey to the city. As Finn and Whisper ventured deeper into the forest, the world around them seemed to come alive with magic. The morning mist clung to the lower branches of ancient oaks and beeches, creating an ethereal veil through which shafts of golden sunlight danced. The forest floor was a tapestry of vibrant greens, dotted with the delicate whites of wood and the soft purples of wild violet. The air was filled with the gentle symphony of nature, the melodious songs of thrushes and blackbirds, the rustling of leaves in the cool breeze, and the distant gurgle of a hidden stream. As they walked, Finn's footsteps fell softly on the moss-covered path, while Whisper moved silently beside him, his ginger fur occasionally brushing against ferns and wildflowers. Their journey was punctuated by encounters with the forest's inhabitants. The family of deer emerged from a thicket, their large, gentle eyes regarding the travellers with curiosity. Whisper meowed softly, and Finn watched in wonder as the lead deer bowed its head in greeting. "What did it say?" Finn asked. Whisper looked up at his human companion, his eyes twinkling as he conveyed the deer's message. "Ah, I see," said Finn. "They wish us safe travels and remind us to tread lightly on the earth, for all paths are connected." Finn nodded, touched by the wisdom of the forest creatures. As they continued, a wise owl swooped down to perch on a low-hanging branch. Its feathers were the colour of autumn leaves, and its eyes held the knowledge of countless nights watching over the forest. Once again, Whisper acted as translator, conveying that the owl spoke of changes in the city. It advised Finn and Whisper to listen more than they speak, and to look for truth in unexpected places. Finn pondered this advice as they walked on, the path path winding through sun-dappled glades and over babbling brooks. They paused at one such stream, its crystal clear waters singing over smooth pebbles. As Finn knelt to refill his water skin, a salmon leapt from the waters, its scales flashing silver in the sunlight. Whisper's ears perked up, catching the salmon's words and conveying them once again to Finn. The salmon reminded them that, like the river, life flows in many directions, and they must be prepared to swim against the current, if necessary. With each step and every encounter, Finn felt more connected to the rhythms of the forest. The lush landscape seemed to pulse with an ancient, benevolent energy that filled him with a sense of peace and purpose. As the trees began to thin, signalling their approach to the edge of the forest, both Finn and Whisper felt fortified by the wisdom and well-wishes of their forest friends, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the city beyond. As Finn and Whisper emerged from the tranquil embrace of the forest, they were met with a stark contrast. The lush greenery and soft earth beneath their feet gave way to worn cobblestone streets, and the gentle rustle of leaves was replaced by the clamour of human activity. Before them stood the city, a sprawling collection of Celtic roundhouses and more angular structures, all encircled by a formidable stone wall. The air, once fresh with the scent of pine and wildflowers, now carried the mingled aromas of smoke, livestock, and human habitation. They passed through the city gates, adorned with intricate knotwork carvings that spoke of the rich artistic tradition of the Celts. Inside, the streets were a maze of activity. Traders called out their wares from stalls laden with colourful fabrics, gleaming metalwork, and aromatic spices. Children darted between the legs of adults, their laughter punctuating the general din. Finn's eyes widened as he took in the sights. The round houses with their thatched roofs and whitewashed walls stood in harmony with grander structures of stone and wood. Smoke curled from central hearths, escaping through holes in the roofs. Elaborate spiral designs and animal motifs adorned doorways and window frames, each telling a story of myth and legend. Whisper, perched on Finn's shoulder, seemed to bristle slightly at the unfamiliar surroundings. His eyes darted from person to person, his ears twitching at each new sound. Through their bond, Finn could sense the cat's mixture of curiosity and unease. For Finn, the city was also a whirlwind of sensations. The energy was palpable, so different from the serene power of the forest. He felt both exhilarated and overwhelmed, his druidic senses attuned to the complex tapestry of human emotions and aspirations that saturated the air. As they made their way deeper into the city, both Finn and Whisper knew their adventure had begun. The wisdom of the forest still resonated within them, a calm centre amidst the swirling urban life that now surrounded them. As Finn and Whisper made their way through the bustling marketplace, the cacophony of city life suddenly shifted. Raised voices cut through the general hubbub, drawing their attention to a heated exchange near a large central wall. Two groups of people faced each other, their faces flushed with anger and frustration. "Bran's lineage is pure and true," shouted one man, his fist clenched at his side. "He alone has the right to rule this city." "Nonsense," retorted a woman from the opposing group. "Aoife's claim stretches back generations. It is her birthright to sit upon the throne." The argument escalated, with more voices joining in from both sides. Names were hurled like weapons, and ancient family histories were recited with fervent conviction. It was clear that this dispute ran deep, dividing the city into two factions. Finn and Whisper exchanged a concerned glance. The druid guided them away from the commotion, finding a quiet alcove between two roundhouses where they could converse privately. "It seems we've stumbled upon a curious conflict," Finn murmured. "Two chieftains, both claiming the right to rule. This could tear the city apart if left unresolved." Whisper meowed softly, his eyes reflecting the gravity of the situation. The cat had sensed the tension in the air since their arrival, noting how it affected even the city's animals. Rats scurried nervously in the shadows, and the pigeons cooed restlessly on the rooftops. Finn nodded, absorbing Whisper's insights. "You're right, old friend. This discord isn't just affecting the people. It's unsettling the very spirit of the city. We came here for supplies, but perhaps we were guided by a greater purpose." Whisper tilted his head, a question in his gaze. "I think we need to investigate this further," Finn explained. "As a druid, it's my duty to help maintain balance and harmony. And with your ability to communicate with the animals, we might uncover truths that others have missed. The ginger cat purred in agreement, his tail swishing with determination. Finn smiled, feeling a sense of purpose settle over him. Well then, it's decided. We'll need to learn more about these chieftains, Bran and Aoife. Perhaps we can find a way to resolve this conflict peacefully. With their new mission in mind, Finn and Whisper stepped back into the flow of city life. The druid's eyes scanned the crowds, looking for potential sources of information, while Whisper's ears twitched, attuned to the whispers and murmurs that humans might overlook. They first found themselves in the grand hall of Chieftain Bran, an imposing structure of stone and timber. The walls were adorned with tapestries depicting battles and hunts, while a large fire pit in the centre cast flickering shadows across the room. Bran himself was a striking figure, tall and broad-shouldered, with a mane of dark hair streaked with grey. His piercing blue eyes seemed to evaluate Finn as he approached. Whisper perched discreetly on the druid's shoulder. "Welcome, druid," Bran's voice boomed across the hall. "What brings you to our troubled city?" Finn bowed respectfully. "Greetings, Chieftain Bran. I am Finn, and this is my companion, Whisper. We've come seeking to understand the conflict that plagues your people." Bran's expression softened slightly. "Ah, a noble pursuit. Very well. I shall tell you of our plight." As Bran spoke of his family's long history of leadership, tracing his lineage back to the legendary hero Cuchulainn, Finn listened attentively. He noted the passion in Bran's voice, the conviction in his words. Meanwhile, Whisper's keen eyes observed the reactions of the servants and advisors in the room, catching subtle nods of agreement or fervent glances of doubt. "Our bloodline has protected this city for generations," Bran concluded. "It is not mere ambition that drives me, but a sacred duty to our ancestors and our people." Finn nodded thoughtfully. "Your family's dedication is admirable, Chieftain. May I ask how the current dispute with Aoife began?" A shadow passed over Bran's face. "Aoife's claim is based on a misinterpretation of ancient texts. Her family has always served as advisors, not rulers. This bid for power threatens the very foundation of our society." As they left the hall, Finn and Whisper exchanged a glance. They had learned much, but it was clear that this was only one side of a complex story. Leaving Bran's Grand Hall, they made their way through the bustling streets to the home of Aoife, the second chieftain vying for control of the city. This residence was less imposing than Bran's, but it radiated an aura of quiet strength and elegance. Aoife herself was a striking woman, her auburn hair streaked with silver and her green eyes shining with intelligence. As Finn approached, she greeted him warmly, her gaze softening when she noticed Whisper perched on his shoulder. "Welcome, druid," she said. "I am Aoife, and I sense you have come to learn more about the conflict I am Aoife, and I sense you have come to learn more about the conflict in our city." Finn bowed respectfully. "Indeed, chieftain, I am Finn, and this is my companion Whisper. We seek to understand the truth of this matter, for the well-being of your people is at stake." As they stepped into Aoife's home, Whisper's ears twitched, and his emerald eyes narrowed slightly. The cat could again feel the undercurrent of tension and unease that permeated the city, and he knew that uncovering the full story would be crucial. Aoife gestured for Finn and Whisper to sit, then launched into her own account of the city's history. She spoke of her family's long-standing role as advisors and protectors, tracing her lineage back to the legendary druidess Macha. "It is not power that I seek, but the preservation of our way of life," Aoife explained. "Bran's claim is based on a narrow interpretation of the ancient texts. My family has always been the true guardians of this city, and it is my duty to ensure its continued prosperity." As Aoife recounted the history, Whisper listened intently, picking up on the subtle nuances in her tone and the way her eyes darted briefly to the side when she mentioned Bran's name. When they finally took their leave, Finn and Whisper walked in silence. They had heard two very different perspectives, and it was clear that the truth lay somewhere in between. The pair set out to uncover the truth behind the conflict in the city. First, they visited the ancient library, a repository of scrolls and tomes that chronicled the city's history. Finn pored over the dusty volumes, his fingers tracing the runes and symbols that held the key to the past. These records speak of a long-standing rivalry between the families of Bran and Aoife, but the details are vague, as if some crucial information has been obscured or lost over time. Whisper perched on a nearby shelf, flicking his tail thoughtfully. Through their bond, The cat shared what he had learned from the mice and sparrows that inhabited the library's nooks and crannies. "I see," said Finn. "They whisper of hidden rooms, sealed away for centuries, where ancient secrets may still lie. And the animals sense a dark energy emanating from these forgotten places, as if something sinister was locked away long ago." Intrigued, Finn and Whisper ventured deeper into the city, exploring the oldest and most neglected quarters. They discovered crumbling stone foundations and half-buried archways, remnants of a bygone era. In a secluded courtyard, Whisper's ears perked up as he detected the faint scurrying of tiny paws. Following the sound, the cat led Finn to a hidden entrance, its existence betrayed only by the flickering shadows of rodents. A forgotten crypt, hidden beneath the city. "This may be the key to unlocking the truth about the Chieftains' feud," Finn said. With great care, they descended into the darkness, their path illuminated by a small glowing orb conjured by the druid's magic. As they reached the crypt's central chamber, Finn's eyes widened in realization. Carved into the walls were the histories of the chieftains' families, ancient rivalries and alliances laid bare. Nestled within, partially obscured by dust and cobwebs, rested an ancient artifact, a sigil carved from a shimmering stone. Carefully, Finn brushed away the debris, revealing the intricate design. Concentric circles ringed a central symbol, a stylized depiction of a bird in flight. The druid's fingers traced the grooves, feeling the faint hum of energy that emanated from the sigil. Whisper's eyes observed the artifact with equal parts curiosity and caution. The cat's tail twitched as he sensed the power contained within the carved stone. Closing his eyes, Finn delved into the sigil's essence, drawing upon his druidic magic to uncover its true nature. Waves of energy rippled through him, carrying whispers of the past, echoes of battles fought, alliances forged, and betrayals buried. "This sigil," Finn said, "it is the lost emblem of the ancient chieftains, the very symbol of their rightful claim to rule this city." Whisper's ears perked up, and he leaned in closer, silently urging Finn to continue. "It was hidden away, concealed from the world, when the rivalry between the families of Bran and Aoife threatened to tear the city apart. This artifact holds the key to unraveling the truth and to restoring the rightful chieftain to power." Finn and Whisper now possessed a tool that could potentially end the conflict that had plagued the city for generations. But with that power came a tremendous responsibility. Filled with a renewed sense of purpose, Finn and Whisper emerged from the ancient crypt and made their way back to the city. Their discovery of the lost sigil had given them the means to uncover the truth behind the conflict. But they knew that carefully navigating the delicate situation would be crucial. First, the pair sought an audience with both chieftains, Bran and Aoife. Through a series of carefully worded messages, arranged for the rivals to meet in a neutral location, a secluded garden on the outskirts of the city. As Finn and Whisper approached the meeting place, they could feel the tension in the air. Bran and Aoife stood on opposite ends of the garden, their eyes locked in a silent challenge. The druid and his feline companion stepped between them, commanding their attention. "Chieftains," Finn began solemnly, "we have uncovered a truth that has been hidden for generations. A truth that holds the key to resolving the conflict that divides your people." Bran and Aoife exchanged a wary glance. Whisper, sensing their unease, let out a soft meow, drawing the chieftain's gaze to the artifact cradled in Finn's hands. Carefully, Finn unveiled the shimmering sigil, its carved surface glinting in the dappled sunlight. "This is the lost emblem of your ancestors, the true symbol of the chieftaincy that has been passed down through the ages." Bran's eyes widened in recognition, while Aoife's lips parted in a gasp of surprise. "That's impossible," she breathed, her voice tinged with disbelief. "That sigil has been lost for centuries." "Until now," Finn replied. "The time has come to confront the truth of your family's history and to decide the rightful future of this city." Bran and Aoife exchanged a long, tense look, the weight of generations of rivalry and mistrust hanging in the air. The garden fell silent as Bran and Aoife stared at the shimmering sigil. Finn could sense the conflict raging within them, the weight of their family histories and the bitter rivalry that had defined their lives. Stepping forward, the druid spoke in a calm, measured tone. "Chieftains, this artifact speaks to a truth that transcends your personal differences. It is a reminder of the responsibility that binds your families together." Whisper, perched on Finn's shoulder, let out a soft purr, his eyes scanning the faces of the rival leaders. The cat's charming presence seemed to ease the tension in the air, allowing Finn's words to take root. For generations your ancestors have fought to protect this city and its people, the druid continued. The sigil you see before you is a testament to that noble duty, a legacy that you both have a duty to uphold. Bran's gaze shifted from the sigil to Aoife, and for the first time Finn saw the glimmer of understanding in the chieftain's eyes. Aoife too seemed to waver, her features softening as she considered Finn's words. The truth is, neither of you can claim the chieftaincy alone, Finn said, his voice gentle but firm. Your destinies are inextricably linked, as are the fates of your people. It is time to put aside your differences and work together to restore the rightful order. Whisper let out an encouraging purr, his tail swishing back and forth as he observed these shifting dynamics. The cat could sense the gradual acceptance taking root in the chieftains' minds, the realization that the path forward lay not in confrontation, but in cooperation. Bran and Aoife exchanged another long look. The animosity that had once consumed them now replaced by a glimmer of understanding. Slowly they both nodded, their gazes drawn back to the ancient sigil that held the key to their shared destiny. As news of the chieftains' reconciliation and the discovery of the lost sigil spread through the city, a palpable sense of excitement and hope filled the air. The people who had long endured the tensions and conflicts that divided their leaders now embraced the prospect of a new era of unity and prosperity. Bran and Aoife standing side by side before the gathered crowd radiated a sense of purpose and determination that had been absent for so long. With the ancient sigil proudly displayed between them, they announced their decision to rule the city together. Their once bitter rivalry now transformed into a partnership dedicated to the well-being of their people. The crowd erupted into cheers and applause. The weight of generations of mistrust and animosity lifted from their shoulders. Families embraced, neighbors celebrated, and the streets were filled with the sounds of laughter and joyous revelry. Finn and Whisper, observing the scene from a nearby rooftop, shared a satisfied look. The druid's eyes shone with a sense of fulfillment, while Whisper's tail swished back and forth, his green eyes gleaming with a hint of pride. It seems our efforts have paid off, my friend, Finn said, his voice tinged with relief. The city has been given a chance to heal, and the rightful order has been restored. Whisper let out a soft meow, his gaze fixed on the chieftains below. Indeed, and now the real work begins, to mend the wounds of the past and build a brighter future for all. I have no doubt that Bran and Aoife, with the guidance of the ancient sigil, will rise to the challenge. Their shared destiny has been revealed, and together they will lead this city to a new era of peace and prosperity. As the celebrations continued and the sun began to dip below the horizon, Finn and Whisper set out on their journey home. The druid's heart was full, his mind still reeling from the extraordinary events that had unfolded within the city walls. It's been a remarkable journey, hasn't it, my friend? Finn said, his eyes meeting Whisper's thoughtful gaze. As they walked, the forest around them slowly transformed, the vibrant greens giving way to rich hues of autumn. They marveled at the way the setting sun painted the world in a golden glow, casting long shadows that danced across their path. Home at last, and with the moon shining high in the sky, Finn and Whisper settled in for a long and well-deserved night's sleep. Iowa Nachara. Good night, my friend.